Welcome to No FOMO Charts YouTube channel. Today is Friday, October 9th, 2020. In this channel, I talk about stock charts and technical analysis education. Quick disclaimer, these videos and charts are for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice. So before we begin, I have a small announcement. So I'm probably not going to be doing any more live streams this year because my computer system setup changed. I'm probably only going to be doing pre-recorded videos like this one on the weekends only. So if you have a question, please write it in the comment section below, and then I'll try to get to it next week in the next video. So let's start with the Dow Jones Industrial Average Index. All right, here we go. So I'm going to try to go faster as usual. All right, so DJI, Dow Jones. Why, if you're wondering, why did we go up? Okay, first, technical reasons why we went up. Okay, I was calling this in last week's class. All right, I'm calling this in last week's class. There's upside down head and shoulders. Even if it was a potential one, upside down head and shoulders. All right, this new computer, it's a little hard to draw. Okay, but basically, you'll see it here, right? Like this with the neckline. All right, a little bit of slanted neckline. But basically, if you zoom in, all right, if you zoom in, you'll see what happened is we trying to break above the neckline here, test it one more time, and then 3 days up. Also, concurrently, all right, the same time, we had positive news about President Trump, that he basically recovered from his COVID-19 illness in like 1 week. So it's just proof, the side notes, proof that there are, vaccines and treatments in development for COVID-19. It's just not available for everybody yet. How did I know the market was going to go up even though Trump got COVID-19 is because based upon not just the head and shoulders on the charts here, but also if you remember UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, okay, I think it was like a couple months ago where he got COVID-19 positive and went to the hospital and was having some bad symptoms, right? Then Trump and the US administrations, they sent over like 1 day airshipped basically some medications and treatments and work with their doctors, and then Boris Johnson survived. So that's how I knew. I'm like, I doubt our medical system and everyone working in the White House and the medicine, hospital medicine staff are going to let the COVID-19 virus for Trump just go out of control. No, they're going to fix the problem like fast. And that's what they did, right? Also, in the past 2 days, we get a restart of the stimulus talks, okay? Stimulus talks, all right? And so that's giving bullish sentiment, gives me bullish sentiment in the market, okay? So those are two fundamental reasons why the market's going up. The technical reason is the head and shoulders, all right? Head and shoulders, all right? So with that in mind, where's our next target? These targets are still good. I'm going to erase this bottom yellow part. So now we broke through our first target, okay? And now if we measure the head and shoulders, okay, technically we'll see about 5% from this breakout. 5% from this breakout is about 29,482. All right. So we hit this target. So now I'm going to move our second target up here. All right. 29,000 like 500-ish. Okay. And then here we have 29,123 as the first bullish target. If we do pull back for some reason, all right, the actual first bearish target would be somewhere in this range down here in the 27,800 range. Okay. Somewhere in the middle there, that could be a first bearish target. And actually the second bearish target would be this support line down here around 26,597. And if you're confused, if you're new and you're watching this, like, what is this guy talking about? I'm talking about the price. I'm talking about price. How can I analyze this stock chart to find what is the most likely direction and target for the price? for educational purposes, right? In my own personal trading, maybe I could talk a little bit about the past. I can't talk about the future, okay? But for educational purposes, it's like, well, if somebody knew how to trade this, it's like, well, there's a maximum like 7%, maybe a 3% possible gain, maybe from here to here, right? Of trading. And earlier down here in September, you know, bears can short this like 3 to 6%, right? So that's what stock trading is trying to make money in the market by buying and selling, profiting. All right, so that's what I'm talking about here, if you're wondering. Okay, S&P 500, SPX, all right? Again, perfect example of this upside down head and shoulders. A little bit sloppy with all these lines here, so I'm going to erase this. All right, you'll see it here that I drew the support line, okay? We had that there. I'm going to erase this now. Okay, we're almost hit our target, but what am I talking about, head and shoulder? I'm talking about this. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and there's the neckline. You see there? Neckline, this yellow horizontal line. All right, so if we measure it from the head to the neckline, it's about around down 5%. Okay, so the breakout spot, 5%, is why I drew this upper white line up here. Also, coincidentally, is the resistance up here. So we have our two targets. Now, I'm just going to put like maybe one larger range of about 3,552 approximate target, okay, of where this could head up to, the price possible, right? So somewhere between 3 to 4%, maybe if we really get there in that target, okay? If you like to use other indicators like Rsi Macd, yes, there was momentum building, and now we have positive changes, right? Also here, see this? If you like to use moving average analysis, right, where these are the average prices of the price over a certain day's range in different colors. Here, see that? All right, we tested the support of this shorter moving average, and we bounce up on the good news I just mentioned earlier. Okay, so now that example is over, because it's almost complete, right? Let's look at these support levels. These to the downside, 3,426, 3,333, and 3,213. These are support levels to the downside. So watch out for that. All right, but it does look we have a daily trend change in process, right? How do I know this? Higher high, not that. Higher high, the price, higher low, and then we didn't go down anymore. We went higher, basically like that. So up here somewhere, we're probably gonna make a higher low. It's gonna pull back once, and maybe we'll hit this resistance, right? So things are never, stock market indexes especially, they never just go straight up or straight down, okay? It has to be like emergency. There's usually at least like 1 or 2 days in between, usually. All right, so Nasdaq, IXIC, again, look at this again. Upside down head and shoulders I was calling in last week's video, okay? The neckline like that. So you measure it, 4%, right? 4%, and then boom, 4% again. So 11,700 is our target. Okay, our first target's hit. See that? Great. Now move it up. All right, so we got a 1 and 2 bullish targets up here, 12,000, basically this old resistance, and over here, 11,700. All right, so why am I putting targets? It's for educational purposes. So next time you see upside down head and shoulders, you're able to recognize it and maybe try to forecast the price and do whatever you want to do with that, right? So support here, 10,800. Okay. So again, daily trend change in process. It's trying to, bulls don't want to give up that easy. Higher high, higher low, higher high. Then what's the expected? Somewhere up here. There's probably going to be a higher low up there somewhere. The upper 11,000s. Interesting about the price that if you look at, just real quick, if you look at the Nasdaq index price and the Bitcoin price, they're both in the 11,000s. Okay, that's not random. All right, so Russell 2000, what I was saying like 2 or 3 videos ago, weeks ago, is we had this double top over here, okay? So you want to be able to recognize these patterns in the market. Double top. What does that mean? Double top usually means a resistance and a breakdown, okay? So then we got rejected from this resistance area at $1,600. Started downtrending, lower low, lower high, lower low, confirmed. Then we had a triple candle pattern. Morning star, that reverses. Once the morning star support level, resistance level breaks, then boom, this was a really, really nice trade. Okay, 10% for an index. You have to realize that for stock trading, the average gain in indexes, gain in price, is 10% for a whole year. So 10% on the Russell 2000 in how many days was this from the breakout day? In like basically 3 weeks of trading, you got 3 weeks of gains, a whole year in 3 weeks. 10% in 3 weeks. For an index, someone using big money to trade, that's a big deal. That's why I'm talking about this. But you want to watch out though, because is this the greatest, if you're a bull, is this the greatest time to try to buy on the charts? Probably not. Because it's kind of late. Okay. I'm talking about just for like, if somebody's trying to like swing trade as an educational example, or day trade, is like, well, it's already way up here. How come we didn't buy down here when we recognize this pattern? That's what I'm trying to teach people, or just share with people, point it out. It's like, to beginner, this doesn't make any sense, right? But to an experienced person, trader, investor who's studied this, is like, he sees it all the time. He's like, oh, the Morningstar, right there. So Morningstar candle pattern. Also, there's potential Elliott wave, 5-wave structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that might mean we're near the end for this daily rally on the day charts. Also, we broke this previous resistance. All right, so I would watch out for Russell 2000 here. These levels used to be our targets, are now support. 1600, 1573. All right, so I'm gonna watch out for this. If it starts doing that, that would be bad. All right, really quick, let's go with the VIX. All right, so VIX holding our support level around $25.80. Remember, the VIX is the volatility index based upon the options trading of S&P 500. If that doesn't make any sense to you, that's okay. It's just called the fear index. It's kind of like the inverse, the opposite of the S&P 500, okay? So sometimes it can give some kind of signals about how afraid people are or not. So right now is, if it's coming down, if the VIX is coming down, that means people are less afraid. And that means more risk on, more buying in the market, hence the green in the S&P 500 over here, all right? So it's just stuck between these two levels and these two prices right here, stuck between like $30 and $25, okay? $30, $25. And so our big support down here is like 21.40. You see that? All right. But instead of bouncing up because we didn't get more bad news, we got good news, so it's coming down. So these are our two targets to the downside, right? Like 22, 23, and then like 20, 21. All right, just want to watch out for that. Okay, gold, interesting. Look, our targets were hit. Okay, see here, our close enough target of 1840, right? 1840 holding support, then higher high, higher low, higher high, trying to get back into this uptrend pattern. So we need to draw a couple more targets on gold because it's getting a little messy. Let's go ahead and erase this. All right, this lower support. Okay, this yellow target down here, I'm going to erase, because that was basically hit, that support level held, and now we're bouncing up. Now we had our first target. See, remember I drew this yellow box right here as our first target. Why? Because it's a previous support and now is resistance level. So gold trying to break through that right now. Resistance level around like 1900, 1925, 1940. All right, trying to get this trend change up. Higher high, higher low, higher high, right? Because it went from this, instead of going down, reverse back up. So there's some positive sentiment in the market, and maybe some people saying, you know what, I'm just going to get out of stocks and go into the safe haven. But at the same time, though, is technical wise, higher high, higher high pattern is starting to develop. Although this is kind of fishy, suspicious, right? When you have one big green day, it's like, well, that's not really sustainable. We need to have the pullback and eventually try to get to the upper 1970s in the price. All right. So now our support level that we're watching is like 1875, right? And like 1900. Then the target would be like 1970 and then 2000 up there, okay? All right, silver, same deal. Okay, we broke down out of the symmetrical triangle. We hit our targets, finding support, and an experienced trader would put some orders down here, right, with the stop loss, and that's exactly what happened. We had a reversal candle signal, okay, almost turned into a M pattern to go down, but no. We held that support right here at $23, okay, and then we broke out of the resistance at like 2440. All right, so it's a bit of a flag or consolidation, and we broke out of that. So again, it's trying to make a higher high, higher low pattern. That's what we're trying. We hit our targets over here. All right, so next target, our marking X here is like 2691. Okay, trying to get back into this upper trend line is what we're doing. Okay, DXY. Remember, DXY has its relationship of the US dollar in comparison to about 5 or 6 other currencies, but can also be used as a psychological kind of fear sentiment indicator of people. Are people risk on? Are they going to buy? Are they risk off? Do they want to sell? Right? So we had this upside down head and shoulders again on the DXY. Then we had the breakout above the resistance. Okay, this kind of review, right? 1%. All right, we hit the 1% target and then a breakdown. Of why? Because people are going to start spending money. And I find it interesting that it's October right now. We're about to kind of go into like Halloween in the US, holiday, and then we got Thanksgiving, and then we have Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then Christmas shopping and New Year's, right? So I'm getting the feeling that just looking at my own town and my own area is people are starting to go outside more. People are starting to spend a little more, okay? Weather's getting better, right? Weather's getting better. So basically, people are trying to go out more, hang out more. You know, I don't see as many people like wearing masks. Some people wear masks, some people are not, right? Outside, and people are spending. People want to buy stuff. People just want to relax, have a good time, right? So it does affect the US dollar, right? People want to spend. People are not going to save, right? So just remember that for here. But immediate support right here at 92.84. And I'll write that for next time. All right, US oil, very interesting bounce here. Okay, so we broke down out of this uptrend, okay, and it broke down, and we found support around the 2660 range. All right, notice that the price did not drop lower than, let's say, 2625. Okay, so we had almost had a downtrend, but we had found support. The bulls say, you know what? News related is we're going to find this double bottom support, and we rallied to the target that I drew. All right, so if somebody traded this or just want to learn from this, there's 10 to 11% in there, maybe at least 5% if someone got a piece of that, right? US oil ETF, dangerous, but it moves. Okay, but it's still confusing though. If you zoom out though, it's not a really clear uptrend like this one was. Okay, it's actually like a clear consolidation, technically. Stuck between 29.29 and 25, like 26. Down here. Right? Boom. And boom. Like that. Okay? So US oil is kind of still in limbo right now because people are thinking, well, okay, if people are having, you know, is the stimulus bill going to affect oil demand and people spending their money? Yes, but at the same time, though, we're going into winter season, right? So 2 ways we can interpret this. Is this going to turn into a W like this and go up like that? Possible. If that happens, we'll measure this W and get our target for the price. Okay, 8%. 8% from the breakout would be the top of this resistance area, like $31. Okay? Basically where the yellow circle is on the top. If it doesn't, then we have our support down here at $26, okay? And if it breaks down 8% from the breakdown spot, that would be like $24 down here. All right, so this like lower yellow circle. I'll leave this one down here. Okay, or it could just get stuck in there for a while. But since we found this is the definition of consolidation going sideways in the market, is at least 2 minimum support touches and then 2 resistance touches, and now we're going sideways, which means indecision, unknown in the market at this time. All right, natural gas. All right, big regular head and shoulders. Okay, yes. And now we had that downtrend confirmation. On this chart, the ETF, because it's an ETF, it didn't really go down as much. But if you look at like CFDs, contract for difference, if you're in a different country, or trading on Forex on foreign exchange type of products on Oanda, you'll see that the natural gas to USD went way lower, way down than this, but still finding support right here. Now it's kind of turning into like a baby upside down head and shoulders, right? Following the broader market. All right, we hit our neckline support. This is kind of ugly head and shoulders upside down, but it's like, boom, there's a potential reversal signal right there. Potential. But again, the neckline is very difficult to draw. It was like sideways, right? Or it could just be a momentum reversal play, support play this way, if you want to think of it this way. See that? See that? So why is it coming up here? Because there's obvious price resistance up here. All right. So the potential patterns that we can see in the price for here, excuse me, I'll bring this back, is if natural gas is going to go on a true uptrend change, higher high, oops, let's get the marker up, higher high, higher low, higher high, and if it's going to be a sustainable trend, maybe a higher low back to here at like 1195 and higher high like this, or really make a large upside down head and shoulders and then have a clear break. Either way, it's going to end up somewhere here, right? Maybe pull back to like 1175 and eventually try to reach the 1289 level. If not, then we have a massive breakdown. This target, just in case, is still there, $10. All right. So always want to look for both. Okay, so now we're going to move on to a little bit of Bitcoin because it's having some action right now. And then we're going to end with some quick global indexes, and then we'll end. All right, so we'll do a little bit of Bitcoin. Okay, look at this. Check this out. We had that symmetrical triangle I was talking about last time. I said, look, if we break up, we're going to end up here. And that's exactly where we ended. 11,090. All right, how did I get that target? Because I measured a conservative middle of this target. There's also larger targets if you want to measure the whole large thing, the triangle, right? Like 10, 12%. So the big upper target is 12,000 up here. The big lower target, if we go drop bear, is way down here, 92.73. People always think in crypto it's impossible, but it's not impossible. It's crypto. It's crypto. You can go way down or way up in the market. It just depends on the circumstances and what's happening in the world right now. So we hit our first target, okay? Any bulls, right? Bought this down, like probably down here, right? They made a maximum of 6%, right? If you got in a little late, you may make 3%, right? On this particular day, which is just like 2 days ago. And it's affected by the stock market because we just did stock indexes and you realize that they went up for a couple of days, right? So what do you think Bitcoin's going to do? You don't think, why would Bitcoin crash is something you have to think about. If the whole stock market and tech stocks are going up, what would be the reasons for Bitcoin to actually crash out of this pattern, like go down? There's not very many. So it's just following right now. Bitcoin's like is a following asset, okay? It's a lagging asset right now. It's not the leader of the market, okay? Just think about that. I'm, crypto friendly, so to speak. I like crypto, right? I'm open to crypto. Just remember, though, it's still an asset in a global marketplace. It's one asset in the entire world. And there are many other assets. For instance, there's cash, US dollar, there's gold, there's silver, there's stocks, there's bonds, and there's crypto in there. Okay? So our next big target is our resistance, though. We have to crush through this. There's a lot of trading activity here. So there's going to be a lot of probably resistance in here in the upper 11,000s. All right. I wouldn't be surprised, though, to test if this is true, is to pull back one more time somewhere in the upper 10,000s, right? Like this. Like boom, boom. Then if we're going to have a true trend change, we got to truly break out of 11,000. I'm going to watch that this weekend and for the next week. All right, Ethereum, same deal, okay? There's like a downward sloping wedge, okay, but it's tightening, okay? Finding support at, 340, right? Finding support at like 334. Then the breakout, okay? And we hit this target. So again, we hit this resistance line up here. That's what I'm saying, 371. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if we had a pullback, one pullback, and then break out to like try to get to 400. All right, so that's the upper target here, 400. Okay, so this X is over because we hit that target and bounced off of it. All right. But just remember that there's always these downside risk targets, right? Like if all of a sudden we go down, like we could hit any of these two levels down here, lower 300s. All right. Let's look at a little bit more crypto and we'll move on. Okay. Let's just switch to like XRP, Ripple, because it has high market cap. All right, XRP, this is what I was watching the other day, is like, hey, there's an upside down head and shoulders on Ripple. What does that mean? Potential breakout. Maybe. All right, not always. These big patterns, they don't always work, which is why I don't push them onto people. You know what I mean? It's just like maybe. So the target right here is like 26 cents on Ripple, okay? Approximately 26, 27 cents. So it's there. It's there, right? We'll just watch for it. If it's crypto, so we always measure like a double target, right? So if it's like a double target, we might hit 28 cents. So average 27 cents target. All right, right there. And then support down to the downside is like 23 and then like 22. All right, so watch out for that. And also there's like a hidden trend line if you want to do trend line analysis, right? If you draw these touch points like this, you'll see there is a resistance right there. Okay, so it has to break out of there. We have to watch for that. All right, let's do one or two more. Binance Coin. Okay, finding Binance was interesting. All right, there's that super weird looking pattern right here on Binance Coin. I call it a little baby upside down head and shoulders, but more specifically is it broke out of the resistance range and then boom, bullish momentum, right? 18% in 10 days. Wonderful. But right now, we're flagging right now. See that? Consolidating, equilibrium. It's tightening. See that? Okay. So with Binance Coin, it's a matter of, all right, there's a flag here, which is a pretty large flag. If you measure the whole thing, it's like 7% flag. So if it's going to break up 7% to the upside, break out, it's like 30.50 is the target. If it breaks down 7%, 25.75 is that downside target. All right, so we're going here or we're going here for Binance Coin. All right, but how do we, if you're trying to ask me like, well, how do I know if it's, which way it's going to go? Well, that's why there's some intraday analysis, like inside shorter time frame analysis, right? There's other indicators as well. Or you could look for wait for big patterns. Like for this, a swing trader would have to wait 4 or 5 days to see, is it going to break up above this yellow line? Like this is what I'm talking about. If you see this, right? Excuse me. If you see this, like an old resistance level here, right? And like that, and saying, wait a second, we're holding the support level and we're not breaking down. Like if the price started crashing down this way, it's like, oh, then you know it's going down. Like you might start thinking like downtrend, like this, right? But if it bounces and it starts going up and it breaks out, okay, that's a bullish setup, right? So, you know, plenty of trading in the crypto market for swing traders have to be patient. Day traders have to be aggressive and patient too, right? But swing traders also aggressive, but it's just about more patience. Let's finish with one more, right? Again, look at this Bitcoin Cash. This is what I'm saying. It's like upside down head and shoulder, maybe. Or at least a triple bottom, right? So 10% if it happens. If it happens, right? 256, 257 is our target if it happens. All right, and that would be that lower like resistance level target, like that. All right. Yeah. So for length, this is an interesting example. Let's delete everything, and we'll end here on the crypto. Just do a couple, right? This upper trend line like this. You see that? Now it's coming to that resistance, kind of like Ripple. All right. Boom, like that. See? Right here. So if it breaks out above, I would say like 1075, you might see some action coming on link. Because look at this volume, it's slowly increasing, right? But at the same time, though, it's possible there's a resistance here at that 1070, same area. And if it gets rejected, then you might look to 859 for support and like 731 for support. Some people might interpret this as a sloppy upside down head and shoulders, and it's possible, right? It's possible. All things are possible in crypto. If the pattern and setup is there, just visually look at these other ones, like possible double bottom or triple bottom, if somebody wants to think of it like that, and just like general support or upside down head and shoulders for Litecoin, Cardano upside down head and shoulders, EOS, there's a double bottom here on the price, okay, support, like somewhere in that range, okay, Stellar, at least finding support at like 7 cents. Neo, okay, well, there's a reversal signal there, finding support at this old Fibonacci 236, which is $16.51. So, you know, crypto's looking suspicious. That's all I'm going to say. Crypto's looking suspicious, right? When you start getting upside down, head and shoulders on like everything on crypto, it's suspicious. But at the same time, who's the king? Who's the master of Bitcoin? Is crypto is Bitcoin. Maybe Ethereum, maybe XRP, but it's Bitcoin. So, but just because I see upside down head and shoulders on everything I'm looking at almost doesn't mean it has to happen. We have to see Bitcoin start breaking out, and then we get some bullish sentiment. All right, so let's move on. Let's do some global stock indexes just to see what happened with the reaction here, and then we'll end. So again, if you have any questions for next week's video, if you want me to look at individual stock, or you want me to teach you a certain concept, if you have a question about anything, stocks, charts, crypto, this channel, just leave me a comment in English in the end. I'll try to get your question in the next video. All right, because this is the time. If this channel blows up and I get like 1,000 or 10,000 followers, I'm not going to be able to answer everyone's questions. So now's your chance. What I'm saying. All right, Shanghai Composite right here. All right, so we got a support level of 3,200, right? It was downtrending, but we have a double bottom. So this still support right here, double bottom support. So we still have a possible W scenario right here, a breakout. All right, so you measure that, 3%. From the breakout spot, 3% is this upper resistance range of 3,448. So I'm going to move this stuff up. Or you know what? Yeah, so this target is moving up here now. Okay. So this may or may not happen, right? Because W's can fail. Like we could just hit the top of this, 3354, and then come down for a lower low down here. That's why I'm still going to leave this bearish target. So watch for this. If you're in China or you're trading the Chinese market, watch for this, right? Resistance right here, up here. See this? And support down here. Those are only really two ranges you have to really be paying attention to right now for the short term. All right, Hong Kong index. All right, so we were downtrending, lower low, lower high, lower low, and it's seeking that lower high. We hit our target exactly. Somebody watching my videos, or the analysis is just correct, right? Hitting this resistance. Now here we get a little more tricky because there's not a clear pattern yet. Like there's no clear upside down head and shoulders on this yet. There's no clear trend change yet. So everything here, I would say it's questionable. It just could go either way. It could go down to about the mid level, about like 23,600, or it could go just down a little more, and now we have upside down head and shoulders, or it could break out. So again, I'll just draw resistance and support. Resistance at 24,816. There is support down here at 23,744. We hit our target, so now let's erase that. Let's erase that. Okay. And then all we have to think about is our target, our momentum. All right. Like, is the momentum, let's look a little bit at Rsi Macd, all right? Because look at this, you hit this bottom, upside down head and shoulders, right? A little bit of momentum building there. Let's check the moving averages. All right, so we have our resistances right here. It's still downtrending technically, all right? So, you know, it's less likely it's going to go all the way up here to 26,000 unless there's like a cure for COVID, right? The vaccine comes out real fast. But just want to watch out for that. Okay, if it starts going down and then we hit here at 23,000 and we lose that, then I'm expecting it here. But if it pulls back and just hits 23,783 and then all of a sudden it bounces up, then I'm expecting up here. All right, so here or here is the levels to watch out for. All right, Nikkei 225. I'm trying to go faster because not many people will want to watch a 2-hour-long video. Nikkei 225, right? We're still in this upward sloping wedge. Okay, we hit the upward target up here that I was drawing. All right, 23,736 target has been completed. All right, so now what's the next step? Okay, now we look at trend. All right, so it's still uptrending basically, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. But again, it's at the upper edge of this wedge up here, okay, up here. So I wouldn't be surprised if it pulled back down to 23,237. Right? Like if it just bounced up in here like that. All right. So I wouldn't be surprised if this target support down here at 23,162 had like that. All right, but I wouldn't be surprised either if we broke out and tested this. That's another setup, right? So watch for those too. I'll put like 24,000 up here as a potential target. Okay, KOSPI, the Korean Stock Price Index. All right, so the interesting KOSPI is what I'm saying is we hit the support level, okay? What do you mean support price? Right here, right here. That support price held very nicely. We didn't crash down like I thought. Well, not that I thought it was going to happen. It's just we had a target, right? If you measure this big consolidation, 7%, that's why I drew this target down here of like 7%, right? We hit this and held. Then, if you look here, old trend line is still active, right? South Korea stock price index is consolidating right now. Confirmed consolidation sideways because you have this resistance and this support. So now all Korea needs to do is keep doing this, break out of here, pull back here, and get back into that uptrend like that. All right. So this is still the target of 24,500. 2,451, 24501. Right? If this rejects, then I'm expecting some pullback down to like 2350 or 2300. Okay? So you just want to watch for this. Watch for this. We're going to break out like that, or we're going to here and reject back down. You want to just watch for that. Okay, moving really quickly. Okay, the ASX 200. All right, wait, clear double bottom right here. That's enough reason for technical bulls to say, let's get in this market. Right here, double bottom. Then the first target's here, and second target is just measurable, right? It's obviously up here, but I can measure it, and it's probably going to be in the vicinity of that area. 3% right here, okay? So that target's right there. Right? Not impossible to figure this stuff out because ASX is in such a strong consolidation range. If you zoom out, okay? So now ASX, all it has to do is, again, break out, test this, and go to higher highs to keep the trend intact or to form a new trend. If not, we might double top here and pull back down like that. All right, so it's our bearish target. There's our bullish target. Let's say like 6,400. All right, all you got to watch is the price action and the volume if you have access to volume, unlike ETF, right? Is it going to break out, pull back, go up, or is it going to reject and come down? All right, Nifty 50. All right, so Nifty 50, interesting. It hit this downtrend, like I was saying. Then we had a reversal signal, okay? Reversal pattern, very, very strong piercing pattern, okay? And then it rallied back very nicely. Reminds me of the US stock indexes, right? So let's extend these lines out and see you could get a future price target up there, right? This lower one is going to make more sense. Like so, right? Right now, the immediate support, okay, there's a lot of lines. So let me zoom in. The immediate support we have in the price is this one right here, 11,800. 11,800. 11,800. Like that. All right, you see that? 11,800. Then 12,000 up here. Okay? 11,000 and then 12,000. You see that? All right, but what you want to watch out for is these support levels down here, okay? Maybe a 5-wave Elliott wave structure. 1, 2, 3. Maybe the 4 is in there, so maybe it's already in the 5th. It's either creating the 5th or it's already in the 5th wave. So it might go a little higher, somewhere into like this upper 12,000 range, and then I would be looking for a pullback. So maybe here first, and then maybe here, like that. Possible, right? Just watch those two levels. And okay, the euro next. All right, so let's just do this really quickly. So boom, down, we hit this reversal candle, and then price reversed up. All right, so this is how daily charts, in my experience, you got to be very sensitive. You have to know your patterns, know your candlestick patterns, single, 1 candle patterns, 2 candle patterns, 3 candle patterns, maybe even 4 candle patterns, but you just need to know 1, 2, 3. All right, so when you get a hammer like this, it starts getting suspicious to me. I don't just buy on one hammer like this, right? Hammer support, but then you get this and you get a pullback and then boom, it's a baby head and shoulders like that. You see that? Or just higher high, higher low, and then you're off to the races like that. See? Where's the target? Somewhere in here because a lot of price action and there's a trend line right here. Right? So that's the target. So if this is going to continue, then I would say the upper part of this triangle, the like 1000 is psychological resistance, and the support down here like 964, right, would be support. UKX, all right, UKX fortunately in a downtrend, but trying to break out. Okay, this is like the third time we're going to try. Maybe third time's a charm. We'll see. Holding this support level down here, trying to break out. Okay, beware of this setup, right? The pullback to test support with the next breakout level. But either way, ultimately we have to reach and break above 6,100 pounds, right? But I wouldn't be surprised if it pulls back down to 5,900 first, which usually happens a lot. All right. All right, well, and here, last couple ones, the Swiss Market Index. All right, so Swiss Market Index, a little bit more confusing, but basically in a consolidation range, right, like that. So basically the target to the upside would be 10,491. Okay, support down here at 10,145. Okay, it's a little tricky on the price, but you get a little bit of dirty upside down head and shoulders, or at least a double bottom pattern. Okay, like this. About to break out of there. So again, watch out for that. Maybe some bullish momentum going to the upside possible. If not, hitting this downside support. All right, CAC index, very similar to the other ones where it was downtrend, and then technically we had good news and then found some support. Okay, so the upper target would be like 5,000. All right, mid support would be 4,800. Just kind of watch what it does over here. Is it going to keep making higher highs, higher lows? Then great. If not, maybe get rejected and pull back. Right, Dax Germany Index, very simple. Right here, simply speaking, I'm saying for the charts is upside down head and shoulders. Right, it's tricky to see, but it's there. It's there. Right, boom, 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 breakout. All right, so let's see if it's gonna hit this target of 2%. Almost. It's like 13,100 is that upper resistance target up here. And the lower consolidation down here. Support. All right, Toronto Stock Exchange. Last one for today. Again, upside down head and shoulders, just like most of America. Boom. Like that. It's a little crooked, but just measure the price. 2% to the upside. 2% target hit, but let's double that to get the next target. Then 16,869 becomes our target. All right, so let me draw this better. Like that. Okay, so you play your levels, right? Boom, target 1 for bulls, support target 1, support target 2. All right, and to end this off, maybe I'll do just a quick individual stock. So let's say, where is it? Right here, right? Let's just look at what went up in the market right now. Okay, so if somebody's a beginner, I would recommend to avoid penny stocks, okay? Because they're too volatile, unless somebody's a professional day trader, swing trader. Trader and not investor, okay? Is because penny stocks is the volume is lower, okay? The float, meaning the available shares to buy and sell, is much lower. The price is lower, so you're going to get wild swings in the market, okay? This is what I mean. If you try to trade something like Vivo Power, right, and it has a one-day gap up like this, right? Gap ups are not really sustainable, right? But if it just gaps up suddenly, like yesterday it was 965, and now we're ending 55% higher, 67% higher at 1672, okay? It's not really sustainable. And again, if you looked at the charts, it's like, how could I have known about this company? Well, if you really looked hard enough, maybe you could have found it once, right? Or if you just spend a lot of time or you heard anything news-wise about the company, it's like, well, it was at a support level. Big news gap up, right? But what's a safer company to invest in? Like the bigger companies, like an Apple, right? Like a GE, like well, maybe not AMD right now, but like American Airlines, right? Just bigger companies, right? Instead of trying to chase like weird penny stocks. Okay, interesting at GameStop, pull back. But look, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high on GameStop. And then where do you think the next thing is going to be? The next obvious spot, higher low, right? And the video game craze is taking everyone over right now. Even I'm playing some games on the side, right? on my free time on weekends only, right? So right here, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? 1050, right? But look at this, just biggest volume of like this entire year almost. Huge amounts of volume, right? But again, Apple has this upside down head and shoulders, right? Just go through the popular ones today, high volume ones. Upside down head and shoulders, and it's like, it looks like it's about to do something, maybe. AMD, what happened with AMD? Why? This is the S&P. AMD, right? What's going on with AMD? Well, it's creating a larger term head and shoulders, right? Like that. That's never good. So we had this support down here. It was like a W. See that? Boom, 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 boom. And then up. And then people are getting to this resistance zone up here. There's not much support up here. And it's like, well, too high. And then people are selling off right now. All right. American Airlines, stuck in a consolidation, but it's slightly tightening. It's not exactly consolidation, right? Just kind of it's tightening up in here. Like that. And why are people talking about airlines? Well, maybe potential airlines in the stimulus bill, right? Support. So we just want to watch out. Is it going to break out? We're going to start a new trend here. It's barely starting one. Higher high, higher low. It's getting suspicious, right? Or are we going to pull back down here? So just want to watch the next week or two for airline stocks. It's going to be very interesting. Very interesting. Right? So let's just look. What are the top volume gainers of today? There are vehicles, technology, I would say entertainment, vaccine related, vehicles, some cannabis in here, right? But again, don't get sucked into you seeing big 50, 100% and try to like trade that with absolutely no experience. It's like, oh, that's a nightmare. Probably going to lose all your money. So that's what I mean. No FOMO, no FOMO. You just want to, if you had a decision to make, again, it's with quality. It's like, people do this with food. It's like, if you see, even with just food, if you see like a super old, bad looking, going rotten, small cheeseburger, is like, why would anyone buy or eat that one? You want to get new, fresh, strong, established, like McDonald's. Or you're right, if you're in US, like Burger King or like whatever other hamburgers are out there, right? There's like Carl's Jr. and such, right? Versus some like weird small company that no one's ever heard of and the quality is bad of the products and stuff. Like, why would you put your money in that, right? Unless you know something, unless you know some deal or something that's going to happen, right? But legally. But at the same time there's so many established big companies in the market, is like, why would we not want to trade those? It's just because that's what FOMO is. When everyone follows trading and investing just because other people are talking about it on the news. In that way, it is manipulation. It's emotional manipulation, right? But why I'm making this channel is I'm trying to help people control that part of themselves. Why? With information and real knowledge, experience, and education. Then when I see something like VVPR go up 67%, I'm not losing my control of my emotions. I'm putting all my money and making huge mistakes and FOMOing in at the worst times, right? Always want to be buying and value at a discount, right? For trading and investing. All right. So those are some key lessons sprinkled out through there. If anyone has specific questions or lessons or chart questions that they want answered, please leave a comment. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great week. Thank you. Bye.